He didn't build his empire by accident. Every move was calculated, every risk measured, every weakness eliminated. From the outside, his story looked like the definition of success. A man who came from nothing and carved his name into the world through discipline, intelligence, and relentless drive. People admired him because he never stopped. They trusted him because he never doubted himself. And at first, his family believed in that certainty too. When he married, he promised protection, stability, a future no one else could offer. He didn't say the word love often, but he didn't need to. His confidence filled the space where emotion should have lived. His wife told herself that was strength. In the early years, he worked endlessly. Long nights, missed dinners, phone calls that interrupted birthdays. But every absence came with a reward. A bigger house, a better neighborhood, private schools, vacations that looked impressive in photographs. Whenever doubt surfaced, he reminded them all of the same truth. I'm doing this for us. And because the results were visible, no one argued. Success has a way of silencing concern. His children grew up watching him command rooms. They learned early that attention had to be earned. If they succeeded, he noticed. If they struggled, he corrected. If they failed, he withdrew. Praise was rare, and therefore priceless. At home, conversations revolved around performance, grades, achievements, potential. He didn't ask how they felt. He asked what they planned to become. He believed emotions were distractions. That vulnerability created weakness. That control was love in its most efficient form, and no one dared to challenge him. His wife became the quiet foundation beneath everything he built. She organized, she hosted, she smoothed over the rough edges. When he was cold, she explained it away. When he was harsh, she softened his words. When the children cried, she told them their father was under pressure. Slowly, her role became clear. She wasn't a partner. She was a buffer. As the empire grew, the house became quieter. Not peaceful, restrained. Everyone learned how to read his mood before speaking. Everyone learned what topics to avoid. Everyone learned that harmony meant compliance. He never raised his voice. He didn't need to. Disappointment was enough. He believed fear was inefficient, but respect was essential. What he never realized was how closely the two had merged. To the world, he was generous, charismatic, visionary. At charity events, he spoke about values. At conferences, he spoke about leadership. People listened. Applause followed him everywhere. But at home, silence did. His children stopped sharing small things. Their thoughts became guarded. Their personalities carefully edited. They learned that love in that house was conditional. You were valued when you reflected him well. One child tried desperately to impress him. Perfect grades, perfect behavior. Another learned to disappear, to stay out of the way, to avoid being seen at all. Different strategies, same wound. His wife began to feel like a guest in her own life. She had everything she was supposed to want, and none of what she needed. When she tried to speak once, carefully and about the distance growing between them, he dismissed it. You're overreacting, he said. This is the price of success. He believed that explanation ended the conversation. Years passed. The empire became massive. More companies, more influence, more money than he could ever spend. And yet, something essential was missing. He just couldn't name it. When his children reached adulthood, the cracks widened. They didn't seek his advice. They didn't share their struggles. They didn't come home unless they had to. He told himself they were ungrateful. He told himself he had given them everything. What he couldn't accept was that he had never given them himself. One day, without warning, his wife stopped trying. She didn't argue. She didn't plead. She simply went quiet. That silence confused him more than anger ever could. When she finally said she wanted to leave, he didn't understand. I provided for you, he said. I built all of this. She looked around the house, at the art, the furniture, the walls that had absorbed decades of unspoken pain. I know, she replied. But you never built us. He thought she was being emotional, irrational. He believed logic would bring her back. It didn't. The divorce was efficient, clean, professional, just like everything else in his life. His children didn't take sides publicly. They didn't have to. Their distance was the verdict. For the first time, the house felt truly empty, not because people were missing, but because there was no one left to manage, no one left to control, no one left to impress. The applause stopped when he closed the door. He told himself he didn't need them, that he was stronger alone. That family was a distraction anyway. But late at night, when the world went quiet, something unfamiliar crept in. Not sadness, uncertainty. He tried to fill it the same way he always had. More work, more deals, more expansion. But the emptiness didn't respond to success. It only grew. One evening, standing in his office surrounded by everything he had built, he realized something terrifying. His empire would outlive him, but his family wouldn't remember him. Not with warmth, not with closeness, only with distance. He had confused authority with love, provision with presence, control with care. And now, there was no one left to correct him. No redemption arc, no dramatic reconciliation, just the quiet consequence of a life built around ego. His empire stood tall, untouched, impressive, and completely indifferent to the man who built it. Because success can protect you from poverty, but it cannot protect you from yourself. His ego built an empire, and in the process destroyed the only thing success was supposed to protect, his family.